I was thinking, I was actually debating that while it was going down, but last night a woman came up to me. I did a chuppah, and this woman came up to me and read, I said, you're Ari Abramowitz, mamish. Dove and Jerome heard, actually, right?
It was the best thing that ever happened.
So he was calling me Ari the whole night afterwards. Anyway, so I have to drink it because part of you is me. No, it's Tfilas Aderech, we always say, we make on this stuff.
So my mother was at that wedding?
All right, Chavra. Shukayach everyone for coming. First of all, a few things, a few announcements. Today, Bezrat Hashem, we have the privilege of having our dear Chaver of Gavriel Pransky back with us. When we finish, it's already late, so closer to 10, we're going to take a few-minute break. And the Chaver that can stay have a very big treat to go into the Ishbitz, the Sot Yisharim, through the world of Tshuva. That'll be today. Tomorrow, since Rav Tzvi is already in Uman, Rav Lichter will be coming tomorrow. He needs a ride, right?
Arrange a ride.
Figure a ride from Beitar.
If anybody's available to pick him up at 8:40 from Beitar, to bring him here.
And we'll send out messages later today as well. If not, or even if he is, we're going to be doing a piece from Reb Nassim tomorrow in this table over here. And then Thursday we continue with more goodies. So there's Baruch Hashem a lot going on. And if you haven't, please try to get the Sefer Chovas Hatalmidim. What we're going to be doing today.
Tomorrow I should have 15 copies.
Oh, if he, that's right. If you're, shkoyach. Thank you. Yofi. All right. So you know what? The truth is, before we go weiter, I transcribed a little. Yeah.
Quick question. Sunday and Tuesday is Chovas Hatalmidim, right?
And maybe Thursday.
and Thursday.
What's going to get you to come on Thursday? And then I'll tell you what's on Thursday.
Are you teaching on Thursday?
Yeah.
You teach on
Yeah. Yeah, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I went to the captain to get some clarification about what we learned the first day, which was the intro into Chovas Hatalmidim, which there was a few things that needed to be fine tweaked a little bit. So I transcribed his first lesson on this. I only gave you two. It's a lot longer, but if you could, I want to go through this. Obviously, his way is just very, very clear. If every two could share, there'll probably be enough later. And obviously, we're learning very, very strong right now for the refuah shleima of Noach's little girl. It's it's a very, very serious situation, and we need a lot of tefillas right now. So for the refuah of Ayala Teilali Bas Shira Yafa, there's one extra one. Yehuda has two extra ones. So here, so you can pass it up. Ayala Tehila Li Bat Shira Yafa. Okay, so Rav Weinberger says like this. So this is this picking up in the middle, and I think it'll clarify to us a few of the questions that we had. I should thank my brother-in-law who probably worked on the fact that we have this recording from Rav Weinberger, who as a kid, amongst doing other things as a teenager, he also spent time with his uncle working on the audio, the dubbing and recording Rav Moshe's shiurim. So what is chinuch? What does it mean? It's one of those words we take for granted because we hear it all the time. We're always worried about our children's chinuch. We moved here because of the chinuch. My father was into chinuch. What does that mean? The Torah tells us about those who are exempt from going out to war. Someone who built a house, but he was not yet mechanech the house. By the way, a lot of this stuff will sound repetitive because we learned this on Sunday, but it'll clarify for us what's going on. So again, the Torah tells us about those who are exempt from going... No, Jerry, do that in here. That was we missed it.
Come back, Jerry.
We missed that. That was like too much. That was our chiyas. Are you kidding me? I'm happy to see you, but that's what we were waiting for. Okay. The Torah tells us about those who are exempt from going out to war. Someone who built a house, but he was not yet mechanech the house. Rashi says that chinuch there means hatchala, a beginning. But it's obvious that we don't use the word chinuch for all beginnings. If you want to know the inner essence of a word, you have to go to the first place where it's found in the Tanakh. We've seen that teaching both by the Gra and by Reb Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin. They both are very big on that. The application of this term chinuch is first found in Lech Lecha. Vayarek es chanichav. Avram Avinu prepared his chanichim. Bless you. Prepared his chanichim, which was referring to the members of his household, those that were being brought up in his home. Rashi says there that chinuch is the beginning of the entering of an individual or of a utensil that you're going to use for some art or craft. You bring the person into his way of life that he's going to be living in the future. Naftali, I don't want to stop reading because it's answering a lot of what you were bringing up, okay? I think. We'll keep on going. This is the meaning of Chanoch Lanar, Chanukah Samizbeach, Chanukah Sabayis. But the Rebbe explains that when it comes to the craftsman who is beginning a certain work, the word chinuch is not used if he already knows his craft. If he is already a great plumber and is starting a new project, that's not called chinuch. That's not the chinuch of his craftsmanship. It's just another job. So we're differentiating here between chinuch sometimes being used. When is chinuch used as a hatchala? Not dafka when you start something, like you don't say Chanukah Tabayit when you start building a house. Chanukah Tabayit is when you start using what was created for you to use. So there's a very big difference here, understanding the term beginning when it comes to chinuch. Okay? Weiter. It'll get even clearer. We use the word chinuch when there is someone who is coming to learn how. When we're going to use a house that's already built, when we learn how to use it, then the word chinuch is shayach. This is what Rashi is saying. It's the beginning of entering a world that will eventually carry him through his life. It's talking about the person who is entering the house, not the house itself. And for those of you that grew up in yeshivas, now it'll really be clear. It's a din in the gavra, not in the chefza. Anyone want to take a stab at that? What does that mean? No, what does it mean to din in the gavra, not in the chefza?
Related to the house, it's the person. The person is realizing his potential in making the house a home. It's not that the house changes.
That's exactly what Eli said, the house to the home. Nachon.
Yeah.
Very good. If it would be a din in the chefza, then what would it be?
then as soon as you build the house, or as soon as
Or
the house...
first brick,
Yeah.
cornerstone, is what we call Chinuch Habayis. We don't say that. Chinuch Habayis is once you're in.
person's faith.
It's a din in the Gavra, not in the Chefza. Chefza means object. Gavra means the person, okay? By the way, in Halacha, this concept of Chefza and Gavra plays a significant role throughout all of the world of Halacha. Everything is keeps on going through these two inyanim, and I'm sure in Sukkah you guys learned, no?
Mitzvah
Rabbi, very good. Whatever, anytime you're learning a sugya, it's most likely to come up. So look what Rav Weinberger says. This is amazing. On this preparation that is in potential within the person who will be the plumber, or fill in the blank, okay? And the preparation of the house, of the appliance to be used in the future, this is the word chinuch. It's a word that stands on its own. Chinuch means the beginning of my efforts to carry out in reality that which I have been preparing for. I've been building the house, and now I'm beginning to carry it out. I've studied the trade, and now I will begin to actively act towards bringing the carpentry out. A person can have a certain potential or an appliance, like an oven, that can make thousands of dinners and bring a lot of simcha, but it has not been plugged in. Welcome to Yiddishkeit 2018, right? It has not been plugged in. Now, so that's why we're learning Chovas Hatalmidim. We say, oh, children haven't been plugged in yet, so the lashon of chinuch is shayach to children, right? How many of us have these wake-up calls in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s? We're like, I can't Ribono Shleim, I can't believe it. No one ever, my sheka, cord, my plug, is there, because I was born a Yid, but the Ribono Shleim doesn't born me with it plugged in. Once in a while you have certain neshamas, you hear stories about kids like Kivyachol, the Malach forgot to tap them on their, so they come out and they start running to Shas when they're like 3 months old or something like that. Like I heard that once every billion years, but I didn't really buy it. But honestly, think about it. Like that's the inyan. You take this. So we have it all. Hashem creates us with all of it inside, but He trusts us with who He gave us to. Like we know our children, and hopefully mechanchim feel like this as well. Take the sheka, put it in, plug it in. Okay, right. Go for it. There are many Jews who can bring unbelievable nachas to their families, but they haven't been plugged in. It's not turned on. So that potential is hidden. It remains potential. The job of a parent, of a mechanech, is to be able to bring to the light, to draw out from within the child. So the shaila is, how do I take the hidden talents of a person and make them into an artist? How do I take the hidden spark of Hashem that's within a Jew and cause it to be on fire? Sorry about that typo. And to make him into a real Jew in his adult life long after he left home and or the yeshiva. That's the point over here. The house and the appliance should be used in a productive way. Every room should be used for the purpose it was designated for. It shouldn't be sitting empty. When this word chinuch is used for re-educating the children, then the meaning is this is very important, how do I develop the nature of the child, of his or her own nature, of what the child is prepared in potential. The kind of person he or she can be, not the kind of person that you are, or that you would like them to be. And that is the same mistake we make in parenting. It's the same mistake we make in chinuch quite often. And we spoke about this a little bit on Sunday, and we're going to continue to see this more today. It's talking to us also. When the PSS and Rebbe is speaking about children, he's speaking about the big babies, us. Bringing out and developing, just like Chanukas Habayis. It's using the building for what it is prepared for. It's not the cornerstone. It's when you start to use the home. That's what you said before. The child has within him amazing kochos, and now we're going to begin to draw out that potential into reality. We're going to start to use the appliance. In other places, the Rebbe's, now this was, I got very happy when I read this next paragraph. In other places, the Rebbe's main objective was how to reveal our neshamas to ourselves. Every Torah in Bnei Machshava Tova and Sav V'Ziruz, which we will do, is about that. How to reveal ourselves to ourselves. That is what chinuch means. Remember, what was the language in Bnei Machshava Tova that he kept on using? You kept on using about revealing ourselves to ourselves. What's that? Chava v'shichlul, developing, yeah, but with hitgalut, what do you say? Hitgalut hanefesh, maybe? I don't remember exactly. Hitgalut hanefesh?
Question. How do you connect the revealing yourselves to yourselves to not giving over, how you want your child to be, but where he's supposed to be?
Look at the next paragraph. A yid, since he was a child, the soul of God is hidden and concealed within him. Our job as parents and as teachers is to develop and extract, to begin the child on his path, to draw out his soul and to cause it to blossom. He should develop into a faithful Jew who serves God, that he should desire to learn Torah on his own, form within him, from within himself, not only because you tell him to. And therefore, sorry about all these typos, I just did this fast yesterday. And therefore, gam ki yaskin lo yasur. That's the beginning pasuk we started with. Chanoch lanar al pi darko. This is from Shlomo HaMelech, right? Chanoch lanar al pi darko. Give the chinuch chanoch lanar. Give chinuch to the nar al pi darko. Reveal his derech to him. And if you're worried about his derech, if you're worried about a child falling in love with their own soul and not your own soul, gam ki yaskin, even when they get older, lo yasur mimena, they won't leave themselves. Like many of us felt like we left ourselves a long time ago. And what's the new terminology? What's terminology for today for the authentic searcher? I'm searching for the real me. That's because either no one ever revealed the real me to me, or when I thought I knew what it was, some teacher told me that the real me wasn't that gishmak, or it wasn't worth investing more inside, right? So each time I was harping on the question of how we have to come back every single morning to learn this sefer to figure that out.
No, yeah, I hear that. But my question also is, it's saying to reveal yourself within yourself, right?
Nachon. That was the whole sefer B'nai Machshava Tova. The whole sefer that we just finished was about revealing yourself to yourself through the awareness of your emotions and strengthening your mind. That was what the whole sefer was about.
So what's the connection to the child, bringing out the best in the child? That first statement is focusing on yourself. So how does it tie into pulling out from the child what's good for him? If you're revealing to yourself.
Help the child reveal himself to himself.
Exactly.
Oh, so it's a separate concept. It's not intertwined.
Yeah. No, look, it's all intertwined, but it's different. It's different focus. And therefore, gam ki yaskin lo yasur. It's his path. It's his own soul that you revealed to him. Now look what he says here. I think many of us could relate to this bottom paragraph. Look what he says here. Do you guys have a sheet? There's a few extra. Are there any extra? There was extras before. No, Tom and Menachem, just if you could share one. Thanks, guys. Bottom paragraph, just the bottom paragraph. It's worth it just for the bottom paragraph. Many mechanchim are trying to reveal their own souls to the child. And it can sometimes have an effect. But meaning what do you mean it could sometimes have an effect? That it could sometimes work, but is that a good thing? But the child can say, well, thank you, I appreciate it, but I'm here to find my own. I want to find my own neshama. Like, it's great that you're working really hard and you've developed a skill to reveal yourself to me. And as much as you try to be humble and not show how much of a tzaddik you are, you keep on throwing these one-liners that reveal to all of us how holy you are, or how special you are, right?
Is that really what he's saying?
That's one thing. The second thing that he's saying over here in this statement is that a mechanech can feel in a very humble way that as well. Meaning, they're revealing themselves to the children because they don't know of any other way. They don't know the art of what Itamar is talking about.
Right, but if you have a mechanech that is really revealing his own personal soul, it can help teach you and inspire you about how to reveal your own.
That's not a mechanech. That's the difference. That's like a Hasidic Rebbe or something. That's like a motivational speaker. A mechanech, no, lehavdil. I don't want to. You hear what I'm saying? That's not a mechanech. That's why we send our children. That has a place, and each of us need that sometimes to get to go to a father and son show. That's great, but Tam Mechila, that's not chinuch. That's being inspiration. The mechanech, he's speaking about the educator that is working day in, day out with the children. Right? That role There's room for it a little bit. I'm sure there's room for it. You should be in awe to a certain degree of the inspirer that's standing in front of you, but that's not the goal. A mechanech's goal is something else. Is that say that? Yeah? The child can say, thank you, I appreciate it, but I want to find my own. The teachers you remember for the rest of your lives for the good are the ones who try to reveal your own neshama to you. They become part of you. Now, in today's day and age, a Rebbe really is that as well. It used to be that the Chidush Harim would come into a room. Thousands of Hasidim are sitting there, and the Rebbe would speak, and each person felt the Rebbe is speaking just to him. You rarely have those kind of things these days, but it's okay. It's not the time anymore. We're in a different shlav, and the Piasetzner Rebbe saw already what's going to be the day after 1945. And that's really, we keep on saying, even though these words, remember, the Chovas Hatalmidim, this was the only publication that the Rebbe published in his lifetime. What year was it? 1932, right? 32 we said last week? That letter, right. 1932. No, that letter was 1932. But the publication of Chovas Hatalmidim, I don't remember exactly, but this is what he saw in his lifetime. All the rest, not so much. For sure not so much, like the Eish Kodesh and other manuscripts as well. But he's speaking about the world that we are in, that we send our children to. So, I wanted to just make sure we could clarify this for the sake of redefining the term chinuch. Is that clear now? What chinuch? He's taking the drash of chinuch to the ultimate, but even on a pshat level, when the Torah uses the word chinuch. By the way, where's the first time the word chinuch shows up in the Torah? It's even that's on the level of Hashem Etzem. It's even before that. Yeah, Chanuch. What does it say about Chanuch? Avi, Balkore. Yeah. What does it say about Chanuch? It's similar. I love putting you guys on the spot. What does it say? Guys, there's other. Avi's not the only Orthodox Jew in the room that learns Bereshit. He walked perfectly with Hashem. It's the same lashon of Noach over there. I think it's the word italech even. Why? Because if someone in this world, his essence, this is the Pnimius of Torah right now. The first lashon of chinuch in the Torah is chanuch. Why? What does it mean that he walked perfectly with Hashem? Because if you're working consciously, always in this world, to reveal your own neshama to yourself, and to do that to other people for themselves, that's walking perfectly in this world. That you spend your time in this world, seriously not worrying about what other people think about you. That your whole avodah in this world is to figure out who I really am, and to only go to learn, to try to get and extract Torah and Hashra and inspiration from someone that's going to say, I think this is you. I could be wrong. But I think this is your Shorish Neshama. Bravender one time came into the base Midrash one morning, and he basically, not exactly, he threw someone out of the yeshiva, which we couldn't believe it. The guy was like a big matmid. He actually was one of the big learners and everything, and he actually threw the guy out of the yeshiva. Why? Because he was clear to him, your place is not here. Your Shorish Neshama is, you have these stories by a lot of Hasidic Rebbes, like, sometimes you'd come to who was it we learned about the Ramak and the Arizal? Oh, Rabbi Yosef Karo. Yeah. Rabbi Yosef Karo, the Mechaber, right? He comes to the Arizal and says, I want to be your Talmid, right? And what does the Arizal say to him? No. This is not my Shvil is not your Shvil. Your Shvil is from Reb Moshe Cordovero, from the Tomer Dvorah, from the Ramak. It's your Shorish Neshama. But can you imagine today, if someone someone that's trying to grow a big Chatzer Chasidut, and someone comes to him and says, I would like to be with you, and he'd say, no, I think your place is there. Who talks like that today, right? Come, everyone, just come, just pile on, it's all good. Numbers, right? The real Inyan is not that. Could be your Shorish Neshama, for you to be revealed, for you to get a glimpse of who you are. It might not be here. The greater the person, then the greater the opportunity is for someone to exemplify that total anava and say, for you to get chinuch, it's not here. For you to get chinuch is not here. I mean, you must think really big of yourself if you think that the way for everyone to get chinuch is through your derech. That's pretty big, right? So, I don't know, this is a very big defining the concept of chinuch, but it was very important that we learned it through here because the beginning of what we saw was not so clear. I know, I have to rewind it. Okay, let's go back in the actual text for a few minutes. Naftali, it's okay? It's good, right? It was a good, it was clear.
The sports analogy is like the coaches you admire are the ones who can, he wins every year because he doesn't have a system that he imposes on the players. Whatever team he has, then he develops a system that plays to the strengths of the guys that he has. And then so it doesn't matter who comes in and out, he doesn't have to impose whatever it is, and that way, whoever's there, he can bring it out of him based on deploying the best of the guys that he has.
And that's why Phil Jackson's not the greatest coach ever. That's exactly why. Triangle, boom, Scotty Michael, boom, everybody. No, it's not. You got lucky, Phil.
Yeah, that's why we like Joe Gibbs. He won with
Right.
different quarterbacks.
Who coach didn't fit in with Pippen?
Who are these people?
Ah,
So out of this.
give him a kiss, man.
Yeah, well, that's the 11 o'clock shoot.
Oh, did I ever tell you guys why I married Bina? This is very non-private and we're streaming online and everything. But when we were dating, she said she's from Philadelphia. So I said, "Oh, did you ever see the Rocky statue?" She said, "Who?" She said, "Who's that?" It's also not a Rocky Balboa.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like Eye of the Tiger? That's where that comes from?
The song existed before, but it was famous.
Anywho, back to Piaseczna. In the Sefer, we're on Daf Ches, right? Now, in here, I want to start again. In here, Aval Afala Uman. Okay, so we're really on the bottom of page Zayin, the last few words. Aval Afala Uman. In the page you have in front of you, it's third paragraph, and it's repetitive, but we're just going to be mashlim. Aval Afala Uman amatchil melacha. Lo yamru lashon chinuch al atchalato im kvar yachol hu et umanuto. Like we said about the craftsman, if he's already able to do what he needs to do, we don't call it chinuch. He already has it. He has the talent. It's come out of potential to being realist, to being reality. Gam al habayit shematchilim livnoto lo yipol al lashon חינוך הבית, רק על מי שבא ללמוד עצמו אומנות ועל תשמיש הבית שכבר נבנה, נופל על לשון חינוך, וזה דיוק לשון רש"י הסחלס, שהוא עתיד לעמוד בה. לא על האומנות במלאכה, רק על האדם, it's דין המגברה. על ההכשרה אשר נמצאה בכוח בקרב האדם למלאכה זו או זו, ועל הכשרת בית והכלי לתשמיש זה או זה, נופל לשון חינוך, הכשרה. Now you can see where he's going with this. What's the next sefer called? Hachsharas Avrechim. Hachshara. Where did they use that Hachshara? Like when you go to a kibbutz, they used to go to Hachshara, right?
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
My mother. Sorry? Yeah, they call it Hachshara. Yeah, Hachshara. Teva לעצמה היא תיבת חינוך, meaning this word חינוך is its own word. ונאמרה על הוצאת ההכשרה אשר באדם, או בכלי מן הכוח אל הפועל. אם לא נוציאה, if we don't extract the potential within man, תישאר בהיעלם, it will remain hidden, וצריכים אנו להוציאה ולחנך את האיש הזה, שיעשה לבעל מלאכה זו, והבית או הכלי לתשמישם, כל חדר לתשמישו אשר הוא מוכשר. He's saying not only do you have to extract out potential from a child in the, in chinuch. He's saying also, even within a child, there's different rooms, there are different doors, there are different talents. It's not just one thing. Like Rabbi Nachman says, sometimes you walk through one door of Torah, and then you see in front of you, wait a second, there's another door behind this door. Ooh, Crystal, what do we have behind door 3, right? This is what happens all the time, right? Door after door after door. He's saying in a child too, A real mechanech will realize there's more extracting, there's more. It's not one inyan. It's not one nekuda. Okay, so now the bottom paragraph on Daf Chet. I'm just going to go for a few more minutes. וכשנאמרה תיבה זו על חינוך, במשנה ולד הכוונה right now, בעזרת השם, that the mechanechim that we just deposited our children by, this week, that this energy should flow towards them and flow back at us when they come home from school as well, בעזרת השם. וכשנאמרה תיבה זו על חינוך הבנים, אז הכוונה היא לגדל ולפתח אסטיבו והכשרתו של הילד, שנמצאה במידה קטנה ובכוח ובהיעלם לבד ולגלותה. Don't just find what the child that's in front of you is good at. Reveal it. It's not enough to just say, I see that you probably, like my father, whenever one of our children were born, so he always looked at their fingers. Also, when I was born, he counted my fingers. I guess it was like old European custom to make sure the kid has all 10 toes, 10 fingers anyway. So, but he always looks at my daughter's fingers. Ken, iti psantranit. She's gonna be a pianist. Like that's the first thing he looks at, the fingers. Oh, the fingers, those look good for piano playing, right? And reveal it. See it and reveal it as well. וכיוון שאיש הישראלי עוד בילדותו רוח השם נשמת שקי תמונה וגנוזה בו, and since when we're talking about a Jew since they're born, the ruach of Hashem is in it, but it's concealed. It's in each of us. צריכים לגדל ולחנך אותו ולהוציאה, לגלותה ולהפריחה. 3 שלבים. Extract it, what the child has. Reveal it, ולהפריחה. And blossom it. והיה ליהודי נאמן עובד את השם בתורתו מעצמו יחפץ. The Rabbi just said something very important. When this is your mahalach in chinuch, you know what's going to end up happening? They're going to want it. They're going to want to learn more, even when they're out of yeshiva. You know why? Because you've shown them that by learning Torah, they get to know themselves. And if a child understands that at a young age, and it's in a peaceful, beautiful way, they're going to want to keep on getting to know themselves. But that means what? My relationship with the Torah never ends. He's saying this is what real chinuch is. When you extract it like this with such emunah, but this is what a child has inside of them. He said that's what the pasuk from Kohelet means. Gam kia, what is it? Mishlei? No, what is it? What is Shlomo Katz? Mishlei, sorry. Gam ki yazkin, also when the child gets older, lo yasur mimena. What won't it go astray from?
Himself.
From learning from wanting to learn about themselves and who they are.
Does this have to do anything with like finding the Nekuda Tova within ourselves as well?
Absolutely, and it's going to tie in a few different themes later on. But basically, you can't really do this unless a zamra is really ingrained in you. Like as a mechanech, you can't do this, but you have to give over to the child the secret of a zamra as well, in order what we're learning, in order to extract this nekuda. So it's a very good point. Back inside. והיה ליהודי נאמן עובד את השם בתורתו מעצמו יחפץ. From himself, he will desire to go deeper and deeper. ומדרכו, גם כי יסכין לא יסור. Even when he gets older, this is his life. But he says, ואילו המצווה, אפילו המרגיל. But the first 2 methods of what we said in the beginning about commanding or accustoming, right? Making something into hergel. He says, and he's giving here such musar to the world of chinuch of back then. Because what is he saying? Eino batuach she'aben o hatalmid hamitzuveh v'hamitragel yaseh kemitzvato gam ksheigdal v'yeh birshut atzmo. When he's in birshut atzmo, he'll finally say, "Oh my God, enough of this." Because he's not the echo of you're getting to know yourself and you're getting to like yourself. That's not what he got when he was younger. Meaning from mechanchim that their concept is tzivui and hergel, and it ends there. The kid that leaves that world of yeshiva, that world of Torah, he leaves that world of Torah because that's all it was for him. It was Torah. It was that world. It had nothing to do with him. It had nothing to do with him. What would we want more than anything in the world? That our children would be interested in relationships with us and with the Torah when they get older. But why do we want them to have a relationship with the Torah when they get older? Because we want them to be in touch with themselves. And we believe as ma'aminim that we get in touch with ourselves through our own personal rhythm of the Torah. We want that to be what they grow up with and leave the house. And Rabbi Weinberg once said, if your child's still interested in having any type of personal relationship with you once they're 18 and leave the house, consider yourself a champion in Chinuch. You won. You won. That's it. You won. So we want to be winners. I sound like the Donald. We want to be winners right now, but we want to be winners like Mamish Emesdika winners.
Make Chinuch great again.
Yafeh. And the analogies end here, because there's nowhere else to go after that. V'al zeh tziva Shlomo HaMelech, and this is what Shlomo HaMelech commanded: Chanoch lana'ar, techancho. You have to mechanech him el kirbo tachdor. You will infiltrate into his inside. Vet kedushat Yisrael asher bo behelem tegaleh. And you will reveal the kedusha of what it means to be a Jew, which is hidden. You will reveal it to him. V'rak az gam ki yaskin lo yasur mimena. And when that's the way, that's your approach, then you could be assured, the Rebbe is saying, Bezrat Hashem, that when he's not in your domain anymore, and now he's out there and he's seeing the world, and he's saying, Abba, I want to go to India, I want to go where, meaning even if he may not say that, even if he does, I want to go somewhere. You know what it is to see a parent that trusts a child is just like an angelic, it's a Gan Eden relationship, and we have to. The Rabbi is saying we want to be able to trust our children when they get older, but that work of knowing that I can trust them one day, that they're going to be interested in figuring out who they are through the lens of the Torah, that's a big gig. That's a big job. But that's what Chinuch is. That's Chinuch. So you sure you still want to go into Chinuch? You know? Like when you define it like this, then you go to all these people that are signed up for Chinuch. I'm into Chinuch, right? You sure you want to go into Chinuch? You know what kind of gig that is? Well, any of us that had the holy chutzpah of bringing children into the world signed up for that gig, whether we like it or not.
Why do we have kids anyway?
Huh?
That's your parenting share question.
Why do we even have children anyway? Right? That's already another zach. Okay. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to stop here. We're going to take a few minutes break. I have the copies for Rav Gavriel Shir over here. I'll bring it there. And we'll continue tomorrow and on Thursday. Yeshar koach, everyone.